You know, I heard about it through a diabetes educator, and said my daughter was diagnosed at 7, so as soon as she turned 8, our goal was to try to get her into something to integrate her into the idea of diabetes, you know. So that's kind of how we got into it originally, and then we just reached out to Emily Faye. Well, you know, we tried to put camp in the idea of her diabetes life as early as we could, right off the bat. And part of that was just the integration of the idea that diabetes can be just a natural part of life. And we understood that camp was the thing that kind of accentuated that, or tried to make that a normal for the children. We didn't know much about camp originally, and we were apprehensive, as I think all parents probably are. And that's, you know, initially how I decided that when I sent my kid here, how I decided I was going to come with him the first year and volunteer. But ever since then, they loved it, and they met their best friends here, and they stayed in contact with them outside of it, and they came back year after year. And my daughter now is in teen camp for the first year. There's such an attitude of fear initially. Part of that is that for many times these kids, my kid being included in that, had never even had a sleepover. Parents are very fearful of that type of thing, because who's going to take care of the kid? You know, a lot of parents say, oh, I'm happy to have your kid, it's no big deal. But as a parent of a type 1 diabetic, you realize pretty quickly that it's much more involved than most people really believe it to be, and you just can't risk that. And camp provides you an opportunity to send them somewhere where it's safe, and you know, well, after you have a conversation as a parent with the counselors, you get a feeling that it's going to be very safe here. I think you probably still drive home that first time pretty freaked out. But when your kid comes home, and they always come home and they're happy and they loved it and they want to go back next year, I think it means something to you as a parent. I would just say that you got to give it a try. And as much as you as a parent think that you know your kid, and your kid is so unique and individual in how they deal with their diabetes, camp has seen it. They've dealt with it, they've been through it before, and there's other kids here that are going through the exact same thing. And you give your kid an opportunity to kind of broaden their perspective, it'll help you as well and help your child quite a bit. And they're gonna come here and they're gonna love it. So let me say this as a parent, and for a lot of the parents that are out there and their diabetes care on a day-to-day basis is 365, 7 days a week, nonstop, fearful, anxiety-ridden. And if we can do nothing else here at camp, if we can provide you a week where you can take a breath, you can sleep through the night for the first time maybe since your child's diagnosis, take full advantage of that. Allow that to happen. Don't feel like you have to be the martyr. Allow us to, as the camp people, to come in and try to do something, or be able to be available to provide you something more than, even though we're providing so much for the kids, we're providing just an unbelievable service to the parents. And parents that aren't taking advantage of that, I know they're not doing that because of fear. And they have to let that go at some point, because it's so important for them to get a break and just be able to debrief and take a deep breath. And for the main thing, they need to sleep. Parents just need to sleep. And when they do that, they're going to be able to come back and be with that child in a much more, even more positive way than they were before.